Welcome to The Silent Witness, a forensic criminology podcast where every detail matters and every silence speaks.
I'll be guiding you through the forensic truth behind every case. Not speculation, not headlines, but the clinical evidence hidden beneath every crime scene. Because in the world of forensic investigation, the difference between an accident and a murder is never obvious. It's buried in evidence. It's hidden in biology. And sometimes, it's concealed in plain sight. Today's case begins in the water. A body is found beneath the surface. No witnesses, no clear signs of struggle. Just a single haunting question. Did they drown? Or were they already dead before they ever touched the water?
This is where science takes over. Let's begin. The water hides 1,000 secrets, but it is the body that eventually speaks the truth. When a person is found beneath the surface, the first question isn't how they died. It's whether they were ever alive when they went in. To the untrained eye, every body found in a lake or a river is a drowning victim, a tragic accident, a life lost to the current. But for forensic investigators, the water is a deceptive witness. They must look past the surface to answer a question that changes everything. Was this a final, desperate struggle for air? Or was the water used as a shroud to hide a murder that had already been committed? Imagine a quiet riverbank at dawn. A body lies submerged, but the scene tells a conflicting story. Investigators find drag marks in the mud and footprints that don't belong to the victim. Even the way the blood has settled in the skin, the livor mortis, doesn't match the body's position in the water. The environment is a puzzle, and every piece of debris or sign of struggle suggests that the truth is buried deep beneath the surface. The investigation begins with the most telling sign of life, a fine, white, or blood-tinged foam gathered around the mouth and nostrils. This froth is created by the violent mixing of water, mucus, and air during the victim's final active breaths. If that foam reappears after being wiped away, it's a powerful signal that the victim was fighting to breathe. Inside the chest, the lungs tell the rest of the story. In a true drowning, the lungs are heavy, waterlogged, and ballooned to a massive size, trapping air and fluid in a condition known as emphysema. Forensic analysts look for Pultoff spots, tiny hemorrhages caused by the intense pressure of the struggle. But the most high-tech evidence is microscopic. Diatoms. These are tiny algae found in natural water. If a person is alive, their beating heart pumps these diatoms deep into their bone marrow, brain, and liver. If the diatoms in the organs match the diatoms in the river, the diagnosis of drowning is almost certain. But sometimes the body is silent. In these cases, there is no foam at the mouth, and the airways are eerily dry. If the lungs are not hyperinflated and the diatoms are missing from the bone marrow, the narrative shifts instantly from accident to homicide. These are the red flags of post-mortem disposal. Investigators look for the marks that the water couldn't wash away: a fractured skull from blunt force trauma, the telltale path of a bullet, or the distinct ligature marks of strangulation hidden around the neck. When the body doesn't show the physiological response to water, it means the heart had already stopped before the victim ever touched the surface. Forensic experts never rely on a single smoking gun. They think in layers, connecting medical findings with the chemical results of toxicology. Was the victim incapacitated by sedatives? Did alcohol impair their ability to swim? They examined the microscopic damage to the lungs, the overexpanded and ruptured tissue.
to see if the body was forced to breathe its own death. The realization often comes in the laboratory. Sometimes, the diatoms found in the victim's marrow don't match the water where the body was found. It's the ultimate betrayal of a killer's plan. The lungs are dry, and the internal injuries tell a story of a struggle that happened on solid ground. The water wasn't the killer. It was merely a tool used by someone who thought the river would wash the evidence away. In the world of forensics, drowning is a diagnosis of exclusion. It is the result of converging evidence, the autopsy, the microscopic analysis, and the scene investigation, all pointing to the same inescapable truth. When the signs of life are absent and the signs of violence remain, the tragedy of an accident transforms into the cold reality of a crime. And in cases like this, it's not the water that reveals the truth. It's the science that refuses to ignore it. Thank you for listening to The Silent Witness. If you found this case compelling, follow the series, because the next story might challenge everything you think you understand about crime. Because sometimes the water doesn't tell the whole story. It just waits for someone to listen.